Hi everybody. For those of you who don't know much about my event, I'm a sprinter. For me, the Olympic Games was done and dusted in one day, in a 90-minute session, 6 laps, 3 rides, and 1 minute and 36 seconds worth of work. 8 years it took me to get to the Olympics, and for only one day. It seemed quite crazy to me at the time that it was only ever going to be over in one day for me. However, in the end, I was very, very proud to walk away with a very beautiful bronze medal. It wasn't quite the colour that Anna, my teammate, and I were aiming for. However, I have to say that the Olympics was one of the most amazing and high pressure, lots of expectations experiences that I've ever had. Despite the fact that I was 3 times world champion leading into the Olympic Games with Anna in the same event that I rode, nothing compared to the Olympic experience. When I lined up on the start line for the first race, where we were qualifying against the Great British team, which in fact was the first time that a British rider would go out onto the Olympic velodrome, the shouts from the crowd was absolutely deafening. To give you a little bit of an idea on how deafening it was, I was wearing a helmet that covered my ears, and I felt like the 6,000 strong British crowd was in my head. In the velodrome itself, the crowd was measured at its loudest at 160 decibels, which is the equivalent to a jet airplane. In the Olympic Stadium, where there was 80,000 people, it only reached a mediocre 60 decibels. So if you can imagine that, it was pretty crazy to ride against. 8 years ago, I tried the track bike for the first time. For those of you who don't know much about cycling, particularly track cycling, it's not like the Tour de France and it's not like a Tour de France bike. A track bike has one gear, no brakes, and you ride around a steeped velodrome banking at 60, 70, 80 kilometers an hour in Lycra. Didn't really seem too appealing to me when I first started. My stepfather finally convinced me one Monday night to go down to Hurstville Oval and try the track bike. Jim Beer, the local coach at the time, lent me a very beautiful red steel bike, which unfortunately I crashed on, but I will always remember that bike as my first bike. That day, I rode a few laps around the track, and all I could think to myself was, don't stop pedaling, because obviously you can't stop pedaling on a fixed gear. Once I got over that initial fear, I had a moment in my life that I've never experienced before, and I really hope that some of you get to experience this one day. But it was just like a moment of clarity where I just knew that this sport was going to help me achieve my dreams. It had always been my dream since I was a little girl when I went to the Sydney 2000 Olympics with my father to represent Australia at an Olympic Games and to become an Olympic champion. Unfortunately, I wasn't quite achieving what I needed to achieve in my running career prior to taking up cycling, and I became a little bit upset and depressed about maybe not achieving my dreams. It took a lot of courage to go and try something new, and I'm really glad that my stepfather Ken helped me to get down to Hurstville Oval that night. That day, however, wasn't just about getting on the bike and trying it. I needed some words of encouragement from a very special person, and that was Jim Beer. I did an effort on the track, and when I sat up on the fence after the effort, he walked over to me and he asked me how it went. I thought to myself when I was doing the effort that it felt pretty good. It was only 1 lap, which I liked because I came from a middle distance running background where I would run, 60 kilometers a week. And all of a sudden I just had to do 1 lap of 400 meters as fast as I could, and I liked the fact that it was so short. He said to me, Carly, if you had have ridden that same time for only 100 meters more, you would be an Olympic champion like Anna Meares. And it was that particular moment, those few words, that sold me on the idea that I could make it as a track cyclist. Jim Beer passed away just before the Olympics last year, and I dedicated my first Olympic experience to Jim, as well as this bronze medal to him. Thank you, Jim, for helping me make one of the final decisions to taking the courageous steps to taking a whole new life. I'm really, really honoured to win this award tonight. I've been runner-up in this category for 3 years in a row, which seemed quite devastating by the 3rd time. However, when I look back on the previous winners, I realised that this award and the people who have won this award in the past have been really exceptional athletes. I want to thank everybody else who is in this category tonight, and I think that you're all winners as well. I want to thank the St George and Sutherland Shire Leader for their continued support of my career since I first started on the bike. Brad Forrest constantly calls me every now and then to see how I'm going and what I'm up to, and the fact that I'm in the paper in the St George and Sutherland Shire Leader when I'm on the other side of the world, which I am right now, and I still get updated in the paper and my friends can contact me and say, oh, I've seen you in the paper and I see what you're doing. I find that that is really, really special. And I know for a fact that now that I've lived abroad in South Australia, now that I've lived in another country, that I know that the St George and Sutherland Shire Leader is definitely leading the way in a very fantastic local paper. I want to thank Tynan Motors for sponsoring the night tonight, and I want to thank Hurstville City Council for sponsoring this award. We couldn't have these sorts of nights and we couldn't have the sort of paper that the St George and Sutherland Shire Leader is without the major sponsors, and I know that it must take a lot of work, and I really thank you and your companies for being a big support of something that I really believe in, and that's sport, and particularly sport for younger kids. For all you young kids out there tonight in the room, congratulations on being just in this room. Even if you're if you're a winner, congratulations as well. For me, the Olympics was also a little bit devastating when I didn't win the gold medal. However, I have to say that before the bronze medal ride-off, when I went out and I was a little shattered that I wasn't riding for gold, my coach had to pull me aside and get my head back on because I was really quite upset. And he said to me, Carly, what is the Olympic the Olympic motto of that particular Olympics for London? And I looked out into the crowd and I saw that the motto was inspire a generation. So for me, when I came back home and I realised what this medal did for the rest of Australia and did for all the kids that I had met and all the schools that I went to, I realised that I had inspired a generation. And I hope that I have inspired some of you kids out there to be the best that you can be in whatever you choose to do in life. Because after all, that's all you can do. On the 2nd of August 2012, the best that I could do was a bronze medal at the Olympic Games, and I'm extremely proud of that. Lastly, I just want to thank some other people. First and foremost, the most important people to me in the world, and that's my family. Thank you for coming tonight and accepting this award on my behalf. I love you guys very much. I miss you very much as well, and I can't wait to see you again in a few weeks. I'd like to thank the St George Cycling Club. To give you a little bit of history on the St George Cycling Club, it was established in 1920, and we've had a representative at every Olympics since then. And I think that from our club, and I think that is just a fantastic achievement for a club. I don't think that there's any club probably in Australia or the world that rivals that. I hope that we can keep that tradition going on to Rio and onto the future. We have some very bright upcoming stars in St George Cycling Club, but not only that, we've got some fantastic people behind the scenes who do a lot of hard work and are just fantastic in helping the younger kids. Lastly, I just want to thank everybody for being here tonight. I want to thank the judges for giving me this award finally. I'm glad that an Olympic medal was good enough to win the award this year. And I just want to say I hope everybody has a fantastic night tonight. I wish you all the best and good luck for the upcoming year. May you do the best that you can in anything that you choose to do. Bye.